Hey guys, it's Marni. Buying a car is a not so fun experience for most people, and it doesn't have to be. At TrueCar.com, they'll help you get rid of the fear that you may overpay. You know when you'll get a fair price because they show you what others paid for the car you're looking for. TrueCar.com analyzes what people are paying for their cars in their market and shares it with consumers so that they never have to overpay. Over 40,000 cars were sold by TrueCar certified dealers just last month. Users see an average savings of $3,046 off MSRP. TrueCar certified dealers go through a certification process, and you work directly with a TrueCar representative that will honor your savings. TrueCar certified dealers believe that truth and transparency are essentials to a better buying experience. First, go to TrueCar.com and find out what others pay for the same vehicle in your market and around the country. Second, register at TrueCar.com to see upfront pricing information and lock in your savings certificate. And the third step is simple. Just print out your certificate and take it to the TrueCar certified dealer for a better hassle-free buying experience. TrueCar has the most comprehensive new car pricing information available and a certified network of dealers that offers a hassle-free car buying experience and negotiation-free guaranteed savings. Support the Ask Women podcast and shop at TrueCar.com.
PodcastOne.com presents the Ask Women podcast. A place where two comics and a professional wing girl get together to dissect the female mind.
You don't know how I feel.
And explain it to men in terms they can actually understand. Boobs. Now, here's the lovely ladies of Ask Women.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Ask Women podcast, where you get real advice straight from the source. See, that's me trying to switch it up. I'm Kristen Carney, one of your hosts.
I love it. Like
Thank
all
you.
the flexibility in your voice.
Very flexible
yes,
voice.
very flexible voice. All over the place. I like it. Lots of energy, Kristen.
Oh, yes. Here it is. Of course, you know me, Kristen Carney, and here with Marni Kinrys, bestselling author, relationship expert, et cetera, owner of the Wing Girl Method. Today we have on the show Sex Nerd Sandra, who has a really big Twitter following. She's going to give you all the information you need. I guess she's endlessly curious and always positive.
Yes. Well,
Hopefully
let's try and make her negative today. I'm sure that can happen.
And I hope she's not referring to her STD results.
I know, from being a sex nerd. Okay, but
Wait.
What?
And I'm going to talk about Jordan Harbinger's coming on too.
Right.
So in a few minutes, Jordan Harbinger is going to join us on the phone, and he's got some cool Tinder stuff to talk about. This has been a very large theme, this Tinder thing, and I think
we're going to segue off.
I hope it dies down soon.
Yeah. Well, I hope that they start paying us and start talking about this shit, because we are doing a lot of promotion for Tinder. I feel like half of their followers have joined because of us.
Right.
For sure, because this is a huge podcast.
Huge.
Massive. But I want to talk about Sandra, because I realize we don't really introduce our guests very well. We're just like, it's this person, and we don't really tell you why they're interesting or why we're having them on the show. And I'm sure you can figure it out once you listen to them. But just in case you don't listen to the second half of our episodes, I want to tease you a bit on why we have Sandra on our show this week. So she extracts sex tips, techniques, and titillating tidbits from unique human beings and experts. Unique human beings.
That's not me.
She marvels at the human condition and cuddles up to the science that helps explain it. That's the nerd part.
All right, next time we won't be so specific.
Right. I'm just trying to like reading it up. But she's going to give us some information on sex and titillating tidbits from unique human beings and experts on their sex habits, I guess.
Yeah, people are pretty unique, I guess.
Yes. I wonder what unique means.
Yeah. We're all the same.
Like, am I unique?
Our passwords are unique. We're not unique.
My
We're all
password
the
is
same.
not so unique.
It's not?
No, I'm not even going to say.
You don't want to share that with
Yeah, exactly, with the whole audience. I'm not telling them about my passwords. But yeah, we have Jordan Harbinger on the show, and then Sandra, and it's going to be awesome. But for right now, I would like to go into my Wing Girl Minute. All right, in love with a girl that already has a boyfriend and want to steal her away? Let me tell you this. You are never going to steal a girl away from her boyfriend. And if you do, then you are just the rebound guy and kind of a douchebag. You have tons and tons of women around you. Why would you focus on one that's already taken? Total waste of time, and says a lot about your own view of your self-worth. Go and meet other women that are actually available. Your girlfriend is out there and she doesn't have a boyfriend. And that is this week's Wing Girl Minute.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's so gross.
I think it is too.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is like, why are you focusing so much attention on somebody that already has somebody else? Even if they're saying, I'm not happy, they're still wrapped up in another situation, and you are taking away focus from yourself potentially finding somebody wonderful. Because they're not saying...
I think it's a form of avoidance behavior, because you know you're really not going to get it, but it gives you something to focus on. It gives you someone to look forward to without really having to do much.
Do you think that they really know they're not going to get it? They really believe that?
If they have any sane
Well, that's the thing. Like, most people who are, into somebody, they're not really sane during those points in time.
That's true. That's true.
So I think they really believe that there is a shot. I think because when you're hanging out with somebody who's talking about how they're not happy and they're not satisfied, you think, okay, well, you're hanging out with me. Maybe you're interviewing me for this, this role of boyfriend for you, for a replacement.
Yeah, but
it doesn't ever work out that way.
A lot of the time when someone's complaining about their current relationship, it's more for the therapy of it. And it's not necessarily meaning that they're going to take action. I complain about my boyfriend all the time. I complain about him on the podcast.
Yeah, you do it in a public arena too.
Yeah.
And you love your boyfriend.
Right. So it's just like someone has to get stuff off their chest. They're going to do it to whoever listens.
Yeah.
The guy, whether it's you or a girlfriend, it doesn't matter. They're going to want to get that out somehow. And if you hang on that, you're probably going to hang for a while.
For a very long time.
Because people in relationships who are miserable tend to stay that way for a long time until like some huge moment happens where it's a breaking point.
Exactly. I think that a lot of girls, and I've done this myself, it's like when you're not getting something from your boyfriend or from your significant other.
Money.
What you mean?
Specifically.
Exactly. No, you do. You tend to go out to other people to complain. Usually it's because you're not actually saying it to your significant other, or you're not really working on it. Because I found that in the past, when I wasn't really stating my needs with my husband, this is when we were dating, I was talking to a lot of other people to find out why he was acting this way or why things weren't working out. And I had other guys that I would hang out with and say those things to. I had my family that I would talk to because I wasn't actually talking to him. And now that we talk to each other and we have open communication and we work on things together, I don't really find that I have such a strong need to reach out to other people anymore.
Well, it's always been that thing where someone cheats on their boyfriend or girlfriend, and then they end up going out with that person they cheated on them with. Why does that person who was in the action of cheating not think that they were then going to do it to them? It's weird. It's like this. You do it to someone else, but you can't do it to me. Right. It's like a delusion or something.
Oh, completely. Because that says a lot about a person's character. It's like, even if, okay, let's say you are hanging out with a girl right now who is bashing her boyfriend, and you do become her boyfriend after, she's going to
bash you.
Exactly.
And you're going to become just as gross, like, and hairy as her other boyfriend.
Exactly. So actually, one thing we could talk about today is how to avoid that possibly happening. Because as I was saying before, that when women do go elsewhere to vent their issues, and when they do go to other men, it's because they're not getting the attention that they really want from the relationship, and typically it's because they're uncomfortable or scared to bring up an issue. So what would we advise guys to do to help out that situation? If
you're
they
saying
are,
the guy listening?
If the guy's listening, so he knows this already about the girl, and let's say there is some chance that they do eventually get together, what's something he can learn from that experience, from the other guy, from how that, I'm trying to test you now and see if you've actually been paying attention
to
everything
more money.
that's saying. What?
I don't know.
Give her more attention, number one, but also communicate with her more, check in with her more. And I feel like a lot of the times, women who especially are younger are either don't know what their needs are, don't know what they can actually say, or they're very afraid to put it out there what they're not getting. Because sometimes it turns into nagging if you're saying it all the time or if you're not saying it in the right way. But it can be very scary to state your needs, especially when you don't really know what they are. All you know is that you're not feeling completely loved and satisfied. And you like, I know for me, when I was younger, I tried to get it subtly in other ways. And when I learned to actually express my feelings, once I'd thought them out clearly and I didn't just like throw up on my husband, that's when I would get a better response. And that's when we would actually do work together. So I think for guys who are on the receiving end of hearing the information about, how shitty a boyfriend is, if they do have the chance to become that boyfriend, that is some advice that I would give them, is to actually like check in with this girl because she's had an experience. Doesn't mean she's a shitty person. It just means that she may not know how to actually communicate and how to work on things. So you can show her how to do it.
I can't visualize them then moving into a relationship and then talking as intimately as they are at that moment.
No.
There's something about the no strings attached thing when you're talking, when you're bleeding your heart out.
For sure.
That can't be recreated once you're in a committed moment or a committed relationship.
I hear what you're saying. I don't agree with it completely, to be honest. But I do. You're like, yes. But I feel like we're going on a rant now. That's why we need men on the show to help us out. We have no male
Jordan
guests
will
today.
be here shortly to straighten us out.
I did want to talk about something else, though.
Yeah, talk about
it. Okay, so let's get off of this because we're going into a rambling estrogen rant on this thing. But for today's chapter in the man's playbook, I want to talk about mental rehearsal. Are you horny to win?
Are you horny?
That's the music that will play for that slot. Okay, so I have a client right now, and we've been talking, we've been emailing. I do email coaching for a lot of guys, and so he brought up a book that I had read probably 5 years ago, which actually was one of my favorite books that I had forgotten about. It's called Psycho-Cybernetics, and I totally forget the name of the author. I think it's Dr. Maltz or Mintz, but it's a fantastic.
He's a milkshake.
Yes, exactly. But it's a fantastic book, and one of the key things that it talks about, it's about like cognitive behavioral psychology and about like training yourself to do things, to be more confident.
Explain exactly what cognitive.
No fucking clue. No, it's not.
Okay.
It's about training your brain. It's about training your brain to have a behavior. That's the simplest way of putting it. So for this book, he talks a lot about mentally rehearsing something. So this book, like some of the top colleges, college football teams are given copies of this book at the beginning of the season.
What's the name of the book?
It's called Psycho-Cybernetics.
Okay. And you can buy that through wingirlmethod.com/Amazon.
Yes, exactly. Good tie-in. And get that book there because it is fantastic. I listened to the audio version. I really liked it. But it also, like some of the top golfers in the world use it as well. It's about mentally rehearsing. So for a lot of people who are unable to practice in real life, so for example, somebody who's a virgin and hasn't had sex, or somebody who wants to practice approaching but doesn't get out very much during the day, you can actually mentally rehearse these things, and that can help build confidence because you can throw daggers at yourself and see how you would actually handle it. So it's a way of practicing when there isn't really practice available to you. And I found that when
this works in everything but sports. Like, don't try this for.
No, it does. It does work for sports.
What?
I'm telling you, some of the top golfers in the world use this book. The top college football teams are
right. You said that.
Are provided this book at the beginning of the season to go because
assuming the football players can read.
Right, exactly. I think there's a lot of pictures.
Book on tape.
Yeah, exactly. But the whole thing is that you choose a spot at the end of the day, for example, or like at a certain time in the day in your house to sit, and you close your eyes and you walk yourself through the steps of the action that you want to master. And you throw yourself daggers. So you throw yourself, like if you're a golf player and you throw yourself a dagger saying, okay, it's a really windy day, so this is going to happen. And you can literally adjust your body in your mind and mentally rehearse so that you can move through those actions confidently. And what it can do is it can actually train your body as well. So it's like you're through your mind, you're giving yourself that practice so that when a real life situation comes on, you can do it.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to be like, oh my God, I run every day, but it's just mental running.
Yeah, exactly. It still works. Still works.
Great shape.
But actually, some of the top salesmen in the world use this tool.
It's crazy if you can actually manipulate your brain into thinking something, what you can do.
Yeah.
Like I manipulate myself to get out of bed in the morning. But if you take that simple, like basic one and apply it to something more complicated.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that like
you just trick your brain and
it's your brain that psychs you out all the time. It's your brain that protects you. It's your brain that stops you from doing things. And your brain can actually work in the opposite direction as well, so that you do things, so you don't trick yourself out of things, so that you have the confidence to do it. But it's easier to work your brain in a negative direction than work your brain in a positive direction. It takes more effort to do it. So for an exercise for the guys, for everybody that's listening, it's to give yourself maybe half an hour to 45 minutes a day. Choose a quiet spot in your house that you can sit down in or relax in.
Just do it on the toilet.
Yeah, do it on the toilet while you're there.
Time.
Close your eyes and mentally rehearse something that you don't feel so confident in, whether it's having to do with women or having to do with your office, if it's quitting a job or if it's asking for a raise, whatever it is. Mentally rehearse doing it so that you can actually visualize yourself doing it. And then
I think it would just from first hearing this, I would imagine that it's actually good to go through the emotions as well that you're feeling, because if you're doing something, maybe it's approaching a boss and that's very intimidating. When you're doing it in your head and you're actually there in the moment in your head, you're feeling that anxiety and you're feeling that you get through the anxiety and that it's okay on the other side.
Yes,
so
it becomes less. Yeah, it's less like it provides less anxiety on the tail end. I think it's a fantastic exercise for people to do. I do it constantly.
I'm gonna imagine doing that exercise.
Yeah, but
I'm not.
But the thing is that what you want to also do for this exercise is give yourself several scenarios where the person, I say throw daggers, but they're saying several things back to you that may negate what you're trying to achieve, so that you can actually mentally rehearse how you would respond. And it doesn't take away all anxiety for when you're actually in the situation, but it definitely decreases it.
Yeah.
So
I do that thing where I have an argument with someone in my head before I ever ever argue with them?
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing.
Well, because then you're preparing yourself. You're like prepared for if they say this is how I'm going to react. So people naturally do it all the time, but this is being more focused on actually taking the time out of your day to rehearse it. So again, if you're not so confident with sex, mentally rehearse. Doing a lot of things, and you can have fun with it. If you're not so confident approaching.
Mental masturbation.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. This could be a fun exercise for everybody. If you're lonely on a Friday night, mentally rehearsing, you're fine. And that is this week's chapter in the man's playbook.
I like that.
Yeah.
It's a helpful chapter.
It is. All right. Well, that was this week's chapter in the man's playbook. And now we have the fantastic Jordan Harbinger on the phone with us, all the way from San Francisco. From the fart of a charm, yeah. Mm-hmm. From San Francisco, where he has relocated to. Hi, Jordan.
Hey, what's up, girls?
Hey.
Ask women.
Hello, fart of charm.
Did you call me fart of charm earlier, by the way? I heard that.
Isn't that what the show's called?
You can use that if you want. Going
that
forward.
Is what the show's called, fart of charm.
Perfect.
How's San Fran?
It's amazing. There's a lot of charming people that urinate on the street with regular, reckless abandon.
Oh, of course.
That's like L.A.
It's kind of, except
but it's more
condensed.
Yeah, and more expensive.
Yeah, it's more expensive than LA. Don't. And you know what? We have crappier weather, but I do like it.
You sound happy.
Yeah. I do. You like you don't know my humor already. I love it up here though because I just feel like people are doing a lot more.
Yeah.
Whereas in LA, I feel like people talk about stuff a lot more, and people always go, "Oh, what's the difference between San Francisco and LA?" And I'm like, "Well, in LA, people talk to you about their comedy and then their TV thing that they got going and this project and that project, and then you see them like pulling out at the gym where you work out,
Right,
and you're like, oh, this is your real job. And then in San Francisco, you meet someone, you go, what do you do? And they're like, oh, I'm working on an app, and then you find out that it's like freaking Snapchat.
Right, exactly.
And they own it.
I know, they're so smart up there.
That's the thing. I mean, I have to stay in LA because I would feel too intimidated by people actually doing things, and then I would convince myself not to do anything because everyone else is already doing everything.
Yeah, you're like, oh, you do it for me.
Yeah, down here I feel comfortable. There's a lot of dummies.
Right.
You know what? I was at Whole Foods this morning. I met this girl. We started talking, and I was like, oh, so what do you do? Because I told her what I did, and she's like, oh, well, I do several things. I hike dogs. Okay, hike dogs, not walk dogs. I hike dogs. Then she said, I am a house cleaner for people with OCD.
What? So already very clean people?
Yes, with OCD. So she's like, their labels have to be a certain way. So her job is the
easiest job in the world.
Yeah, exactly.
It's already done.
It's already clean when she goes there, like just turning things like a smidgen.
Hate this woman.
And then what was her third job? I forget what her third job was, but there's 3 things that she did, and they were all like very interesting. But you're totally right. Like that is what it's like in LA.
Yeah.
Because in San Fran, it would be like, oh, I work for Apple, and I'm doing, I'm creating an app, and I'm raising funding
for you.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, we're a bunch of dummies down here, is what you're saying.
I mean, I wouldn't say dummies, just there's a lot more blow than show, and I mean, blow, and there's a lot of blow as well.
Yeah.
But down up here, it's more like the
Whoa, that was really weird.
That was really scary. I think Jordan just exploded.
Mostly they just
Wait, it just sounded like you exploded.
It sounded like you exploded into like literally dust. It was really weird.
Is that what happened?
I did explode. I'm not even sure. I'm not sure what just happened. Did you get like a?
It's just like when like the phone breaks off and it goes. It just sounded really funny.
It was so we fart.
That was the fart of charm. That's what happened.
That was hilarious. That's so funny. Well, actually, it's really good that we're talking about like moving to different cities because we wanted to talk to you about and applications. This is a good segue about Tinder because that's something that you've been talking about lately, and you are very experienced with it and have a lot of information on it. So, being in a new city, are you using Tinder? Is it like Tell me about it.
Well, I live with my girlfriend, so I use Tinder, I get in trouble. But
so you use Grindr,
right? Pro tip: I use Grindr instead because she doesn't care. But the pro tip is that, by the way, your profile never goes away. So if you ever installed Tinder and then you got married and had babies or something, you're still showing up under results.
No way.
Really?
So if you die,
you're still there.
Yeah.
People are still swiping right or left.
Getting matched. Well, here's the problem, right? Somebody was like, Jenny, I don't know how to tell you this, but your boyfriend is on Tinder. And I was like,
horrible.
Well, when my profile shows up, have her take a screenshot. And of course, it's like last login 2 years ago. And I was like, look,
okay,
it's okay.
That's good. At least it shows like a stamp date of when you were actually on there.
Yeah, but Tinder, come on, loosen up a little bit. That seems a little harsh.
Seriously. Well, that's also really upsetting for a lot of people because if they're swiping to choose you and they don't hear back from you, that can, hurt their ego a little bit.
Of course. And meanwhile, it's just that everybody you matched with is dead.
Right. Exactly.
Which was my perfect match, by the way.
A dead man.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
So I haven't been using Tinder, but at AOC, at Part of Charm,
right.
we have a lot of program grads from our live programs, and a lot of those guys are going on like 5 dates per week using Tinder, so they've got it down to a frigging science. And so they've figured out all these cool algorithms and things like that, and I'll talk about that in a second, but I think it's really important, and I know that Tinder sounds hokey-dokey and stuff, but if you just got out of a relationship or you just moved to a new city or you're trying to figure out how to get a dating skill set because you just haven't before, maybe you're a workaholic like a lot of people, or you were married or whatever, or you're still married, whatever, and so you want to get a bunch of first dates all in a shorter period of time because for a lot of people, the first date sucks. It's like this insanely annoying, repetitive, high-pressure situation that ends in dismal failure. So if you get one of them every week, you could spend months and months and months or even years going through first dates repeatedly and just banging your head against the wall. And so obviously getting more first dates is great. So if you can get, like some of the Art of Charm alumni, if you get like 5 dates in a week, you could probably, in 2 months at most, 1 or 2 months, you could be kind of back on top, having done it so many times that you finally start to get the hang of it again. And then you don't have to use Tinder anymore because now when you meet people in real life, you don't take them out and then completely just ruin it. And also, if you're the type of guy that only dates once or twice a month and you want to you're having a problem because you're like, oh my God, this date has to go well. You're putting a ton of pressure on yourself. If you have Tinder dates lined up, like 2 or 3 of those per week, and then you have your quote-unquote regular dates, then it doesn't really matter because you have much more abundance. Yeah. So you're not going, if this date doesn't work, I'm lonely for another 2 weeks. It's like, if this date doesn't work,
there's one tomorrow.
Tuesday, and I've got one tomorrow. Yeah,
exactly. You know what? It's funny how maybe I'm just always creating associations, but everything we talk about on the show always happens to go down, some path that makes sense. There's always connections. Because we were talking about at the beginning of the show, mentally rehearsing, and that if practice is not available to you, like for example, you're not using Tinder and you're not going on multiple dates every single night, mental rehearsal is available to you so that you can sort of have some sort of practice under your belt so you're not as freaked out if you find yourself in a situation. So it's funny that you sort of say that. Like Tinder gives you the real life practice to go out and do things. And it's so what are these algorithms? Because like this is very San Franny of you.
Yeah.
To be bringing up algorithms.
Such a San Fran word now that I think about it. So a lot of people are still trying to figure out how to spell algorithms so they can look it up.
I'm totally figuring it out.
But I think what it is sort of like tricks and tips to optimize it. And so some of the things, and we put this together in like a little pamphlet that I'll happily give away at the end of the.
Oh yeah, we love that. We love that.
It's all like people think, oh, you know what? What I'm going to do is just swipe everybody as a match because then I'll get more matches, and then I'll filter from there. And it's like actually the Tinder police have sort of thought of that after the first few months, and they went, oh, if you constantly match people, we're going to downgrade, the number of times you show up. And there's also things that have to do with... Yeah. And also with, like, the radius, if you use it, you can be like, oh, within 5 miles, within 10 miles, within 20 miles. A lot of people go, well, screw it. I'm just going to, put the largest one so I get the biggest pool of women to choose from. And the problem with that is the app also accounts for that in certain ways that we detail in the little ebook. And the way that works is it's like, oh, well, since you're cool to meet people that live really far away, we're going to show you last to the people that only want to meet people really close because you're kind of more willing to drive further. Right. And it's like, oh, good idea for the app users because then people further away or who are more picky, which are a lot of good-looking girls that live in cities, they don't have to drive 10 miles to meet with some guy. But if a guy's willing to do that, then they're like, all right, we'll just show you last. Why not? Because then you'll be able to meet people closer to you first.
Wait, how are you finding this out? Is like your next door neighbor in San Fran telling you this or something?
I mean, some of it's kind of like I'm not supposed to say where it came from. And other stuff, honestly, is when you have 100 software engineers coming through your boot camps every month.
Right.
Who are obsessed with
They're like,
dating
we've
and
cracked
Tinder.
the code.
So you're saying they need help dating?
Yeah. This is so interesting.
They literally not rehearse. They literally reverse engineer the app and go, okay, I'm going to have some of these guys have 5 or 7 mobile devices, or if they program apps, they have these emulators on their computer where they have every model of phone to make sure their apps work. So they've just installed Tinder on 20 different phones with different profiles, different types of pictures, and they're all them, and they're split testing all this stuff. That is, A/B testing, where they're like, here's a picture of me with my hat on, here's a picture of me without a hat on.
Which one gets most responses?
More matches. Yeah.
I love it.
So they've done this, and we had our alumni write down a bunch of different findings, and we used that to create this ebook that I'll give away here in a second. And we had them mix it with AOC principles, and then we had our writing team just be like, okay, put this in a digestible format so people go, okay, these are the types of pictures that do well. These are the types of profiles that do well on Tinder. This is what you should select to get maximum matching, and here's some weird things that you should avoid / you should totally do.
Wow.
And there's tons of it in there, and I'll kind of let guys sift through it if they're interested. Because I'll just give this away to your
for free.
Yeah, for free.
Oh wow! Okay, that's so nice of you. Wait, I have a question. So, do these principles also work for online dating, or is it strictly social applications like Tinder?
Well, it's designed for Tinder, but some of the obvious overlap would be things like
Pictures.
Online dating. Sure, like the principle of having certain types of pictures that aren't, dude with your shirt off drinking beer. Here's another one of me drinking beer, and here's another one of me with my shirt off.
They might as well just put a picture of themselves beating a woman, right? Because that's essentially what it looks like. Those pictures.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not wearing a wife beater. I'm actually beating someone's wife.
Right.
And so you have all these general principles that you can apply over there, but then this is designed specifically for mobile social dating type applications where you can optimize your results here, because otherwise there's a million ways to get online dating advice and read the messages, but the core of it does overlap, especially because a lot of people make similar mistakes online dating as they do with these apps. For example, on Tinder, if you've ever used it, you've got people who go, oh, this girl's cute, and they match, and then they write a page-long message, and the girl's like, no.
Yeah.
And people do that with eHarmony or Match.com, too. They'll match with somebody there, and they're like, here's a book about my life, and it's like that person just goes next, and they're frustrated because...
I like how you're saying the nicer version of what they were really saying, because they're not saying next. Yeah. There's a lot of other thoughts going through their head.
Yeah, of course. And so it becomes really frustrating for people when they're investing an hour writing to somebody and they never get a response.
Right.
Whereas in the book, the ebook will show you, or the Tinder guide, I guess, as we call it will show you hey, listen, this is purely a numbers game in the beginning, and then once you match, and then once you start contact, you can start to filter out what you're interested in and what you're not interested in. Otherwise, you're going to spend all this time talking to people that aren't even reading your messages or aren't there to date or just installed the app once and never looked at it again, or a million other things that go wrong.
Yeah, it's providing you with a larger pool of options, and then you can start to dwindle down on what you're actually looking for.
People are thinking they were outsmarting Tinder, but Tinder outsmarted everybody.
Seriously. The science of Tinder. Wait, that's what you should have called it, the science of Tinder.
That's a good point.
I know. Yeah. I'm going to take that one.
But what is it called, this ebook?
Well, we just basically called it the Tinder guide, and it's if you go to and we put it on a short link so people don't have to worry about it too much. Okay. If you go to AOC podcast, so it stands for the Art of Charm podcast.com/ask women.
Oh, perfect.
You can just do a little redirect there. Yeah, and it says the Art of Charm's exclusive Tinder ebook, worst title ever. We should have just called it the Science of Tinder.
Yeah, you can change it. You can change it now. Do it.
There you
do
go.
It, Jordan. You can totally change it.
You're about to learn the hidden strategies to maximize your Tinder profile and get more dates, but it's free. So,
is there an audio version?
Download it. No, because since it's free, I put as little effort into it as humanly
as possible. Aside from gathering a collection of
awesome information. Inside of it.
Exactly, with scientists and programmers. That's awesome. Exactly. I'll never read it because I only listen to audiobooks. But I'm just kidding. I'll definitely read it. That sounds awesome. And so, what's the link again where they can get this free Tinder guide?
Science of Tinder?
If you go to AOCpodcast.com/ask women, so you just basically have to remember AOCpodcast.com/ask women, and it'll redirect you to the page where we have this, and you click this button and it downloads it. And it's a PDF, so you can read it on your phone. You can read it on any computer. And,
awesome.
Yeah, and share it with your friends too. If people want it, just share it widely. Because the whole point was, hey, it'd be really cool if guys knew how to use Tinder and it wasn't just a playground for girls to look at dudes and reject them mercilessly with a swipe of a finger.
Right. This is like 8th grade on crack.
Yeah.
For a lot of people.
It's like, you're not cute. You're not cute.
Gross. Gross. Oh, hey. Gross.
Yeah,
gross.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's totally true. Well, Jordan, thank you so much for giving that free guide to our guys. I'm sure they will absolutely love it. So everybody should go check out that free Tinder guide, because I really think that whether or not you are in a new city, like Jordan gave multiple reasons why you would go on Tinder, but overall, it really is just for practice. It's giving you a playground of women to select from. And now you know how to do it properly.
I've tried really, really hard to hate Tinder, but I really hear positive things about it. And
Me
I think
too.
it helps a lot of people in a lot of different ways.
Me too. It gets you out there. Honestly, Carla is using it, my au pair. She's freaking loving it. It just gives you people who are in your area at your fingertips.
Yeah. I'm just but I'm just waiting for the first murder off Tinder.
I know, because then it'll be all over. Yeah. Well, Jordan.
That's in the appendix of the guide.
Oh, good. Okay, good. Perfect. I'll read it.
All right, Jordan. Well, enjoy San Fran. Again, thank you so much for giving the guys the Tinder guide. Go to aocpodcast.com/askwomen and you can get your free copy of this amazing guide. And stay tuned for the second half of our show, because we have Sandra, Sex Nerd. Sex Nerd. Sandra, the Sex Nerd, coming up on the second half of the show. And again, Jordan, thanks for being on with us. You're always awesome.
Thank you. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
And now, Katy Perry.
Imagine going on stage without any guitars, or keyboards, drums, or a microphone, and being expected to roar. Tough, right? It's the same with our teachers who are using their own money so students can learn. DonorsChoose.org is a charity that helps teachers get what they need for students to succeed. That's why Staples is donating $1 million to the cause.
Join Katy Perry and donate at staples.com/make-roar-happen.
Hey, this is Dr. Drew, and you have been asking for it. So here it is. We're going to give you 3 episodes of classic Loveline every week. That means more Adam.
Oh, shut up.
Or me. Listen. And more of those amazing classic Loveline show moments.
My wife gets mad at this stuff, and Adam's like, oh, who wears the pants in your house? How dare you put up with that? If my wife knows not to behave like that, because she knows...
Now, your wife calls the show and yells at you during the show.
So I shouldn't wait till I get home, then we're done by the time I get home.
Download them every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at podcast1.com.
You're listening to the Ask Women podcast, a Podcast One presentation.
Hey guys, welcome back. We are here with, I have to correct myself because I've been saying Sex Nerd Sandra, but it's Sex Nerd Sandra, which makes you so much sexier.
Ooh, it does.
Right?
Sandra. You have to say it in a sexy way.
Yeah.
Sandra.
Yeah.
Does telling you to deep throat it help?
That was a good description.
Sandra.
It was very relatable.
Yes, it does.
Very relatable for me.
It does. Exactly.
Not at all.
Exactly. Well, so I wanted to talk to you because I'm curious about this one statement that you make on your website where you extract sex tips, techniques, and titillating tidbits from unique human beings and experts. So only from unique human beings do you get this information. So what is the unique human beings part?
Unique human beings. Well, I think everybody has a story to tell. I mean, everyone's got...
So not like midgets or like giants.
No, I mean, I
don't know.
I met this guy in a conversation. He was asking me about sex, and he started talking about this breath play he does when he's alone, and how
breath play.
And when you think breath play, a lot of people think either holding your breath or pressing or like just trying to strangle yourself. But it wasn't that. It was that he would practice a swimming breath while he masturbated, and he would time it with his stroking to get more intense.
Like
orgasm.
swimming stroking,
right? Like, you know how you just slowly exhale and slowly inhale, and he just did this very meditative. Anyway, that to me is something I'd never heard before, so I had him on the show. So something that piques my interest because it's
unique.
It's different.
It's from people.
Yes, maybe I should rewrite that sentence.
I think so.
More accurately.
Yes, I think so because that's pretty interesting. Right. How did you do a whole podcast on this? So how does it help him do? Does it help him get into a calm space?
The control, the control aspect, from what I recall, it was very much having to slow down his breath, and that because for him. The act of orgasm was very easy.
Okay.
So someone like me who has a harder time getting there, it may not. I mean, breath is always an essential part of sex. I mean, you can do
especially the
things
smell
with
of it.
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm. I mean, let's get real here.
Bring some Trident into the bedroom. I'm turned on.
Well, because sometimes when I am self-conscious of my breath, I do start focusing on it.
You tense up. You
I
get,
tense
a little
up
bit
completely.
paranoid.
But I love how, again, everything is tying in because we were talking in the first half of the show about mentally rehearsing things, and you're talking about another practice ritual, which I think is fantastic for people, especially, in the sexual arena. Practice is what makes things perfect in sex, right?
Yes. Because you got to be perfect in the bedroom.
No
mistakes. Yeah, can't
you
screw
get
up.
punched right in the face, thrown into the hallway.
Exactly.
Next.
Well, tell us about some other things like this. So our audience is men, mainly men who listen to this show. And, a lot of them, not a lot of them, like some of them are virgins or some of them don't feel like they're the best lovers or some of them want to be better lovers. What are some titillating tidbits that you can provide to them in terms of advice for how to be a better lover to a woman?
Oh man,
I know. I'm asking for the world.
Broad. It's a lot. I mean, and that is, that's the keys to the kingdom in a lot of ways. So it's like, how do we even delve into that? My listenership, there is a faction of it that a lot of people who are younger and inexperienced or late bloomers and freaking out or whatever. And I get it. I feel I've dated a lot of late bloomers, and I myself I'm very neurotic, anxiety, like, do it correctly all the time. So when it comes to loving on the ladies, first of all, women are people. And thinking of them on a pedestal.
We get that a lot. We hear people say that a lot.
That women are people?
That they put women up here and that then they don't know how to talk to them. After that. Yeah.
And the problem with the pedestal concept is that what you're doing is you're digging a hole and putting a pedestal in it and then putting a woman in there because you're dehumanizing them at the same time. And it's not like I'm putting anyone down for doing that. It's just you forget that you could actually relate to this person on a level of like, what kind of TV shows do you like? I like that too. Let's go see a movie. And do you like chocolate? I like chocolate. Like just freaking people with feelings and stuff. And
do you like a finger in your ass? I like a finger.
High five.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, let's be friends with benefits. So first things first is kind of clearing out all that crap around, that, women and men are so different. We're on different planets. I mean, a lot of that's taught. And some people don't have any control over their emotions, and some people have weird triggers around relating. And sometimes people say that's because that's how women are, or that's because of how men are. And I think all that stuff is really just detrimental to people.
Is this the biggest sticking point that you find in terms of sex, like that really holds people back from achieving their true potential in the bedroom?
I think, honestly, communication is key. I mean, when people say that, it's so cliche to say that. I'm sure you say that all the time, as I do. But honesty, and I don't mean like, what I really want. I want kids in the next 3 years. Yeah, okay, that's great, and that's honest, and that is a goal that you should be honest about. But I mean, like, I'm afraid right now, or like, I'm really attracted to you, and or just being honest.
Every kiss begins with communication.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the thing about creepiness, which is such a theme,
we talked about that recently,
and every episode, pretty much.
Yeah. And because when men, there's such a thing about men who want to date women. I don't want to be creepy. I don't want to be the jerk. But I don't want to be creepy. And so we
had a guy write in blaming me for making, he was hearing my voice saying when he was trying to approach a woman, that's creepy, that's creepy, that's creepy. So I think that I know I've put that stigma out there.
Aww.
Like, nah, I've not intentionally done it. Yeah, but yeah, sorry.
I want to get back to the sex thing because like, I love what you're saying. I think it's absolutely true. But like, you're here to be an expert on sex. So I want to hear about sex, lady.
Okay. But access to sex is often a hindrance to the actual sex. And the creepy factor, what is creepy? Creepy is when you get a sense that the person that you're getting creeped out by, what they're saying and doing is different than what they want.
Right.
Like oh yeah, I just want to be friends, but you can sense that it's.
But then they stare at your eyes 3 seconds longer than they should.
Exactly, and they're holding eye contact a little too long. It's practicing glancing down every once in a while, and blinking is always a good thing. To me, not being creepy is being able to tap into how you are behaving at the time and be able to just be honest. And like, sorry, I'm kind of nervous right now. And it doesn't mean like I want to put my penis on your face. That doesn't mean that.
Usually it does though. Right?
Yeah, but the thing is like some people in parts of the population are really geared toward casual hooking up type sex, but a lot of people aren't. And to just deny our feelings is just absurd. But when it comes to the bedroom and being really good in bed, A great lovership tip, just overall, like if you want to just be awesome in the bedroom, the first thing to do. Sorry, I'm really sleepy. The first thing is the classic thing I'll see is slow down.
Yeah.
Is that you don't see?
That's the tip that I always hear.
Yeah.
Like, slow down. You know, take your time. And it's true. But when I used to implement that tip, like when I was young, well, I'm still young. When I would implement that tip, it just sort of became me slowing down, and it didn't get better. It just got real slow.
So it was like excruciatingly long, awkward, bad.
Yeah, like, ooh, trace my tongue around your lower stomach and inner thigh just to tease you so that I slowly get to your genitals with my mouth. Like, there's always that, ooh, yeah, tease. And what I would do, and I'll notice other lovers would do this too, is they just sort of go through the motions of slowing down, but they wouldn't actually do. The thing about slowing down is if you walk down the street, a street that you've driven down tons of times, you will see details that you never would have picked up if you had driven. And so when you slow down, it's taking the time to experience those details and taking the time to acknowledge every single nerve ending as you go. If you're licking across a labia or an inner thigh or the neck or behind the ear or somewhere, you want to acknowledge every inch of the way and really just so it's intention more than the act of being slow.
Yeah.
And often it's you want to go even slower than you even think you should go. And so the sensuality aspect of being a good lover and slowing down, it's intention more than just looking
so
at
you're
your
saying
walk.
you don't like when you slow down? Is that what you were talking about?
I'd say that when people slow down, they hear that tip, they're not hearing the
what it really
part
means.
of the effectiveness of slowing down. It's not in just going slower.
And so as a woman, for you, can you notice a difference when a guy actually is taking the time to take you all in rather than racing through things or putting you on a pedestal?
Absolutely. If you're listening right now, or if you do want to do this, just flatten your tongue, because there's two kinds of tongue. There's pointy tongue and there's flat tongue, right? In a lot of porn, you see when people are doing cunnilingus, they're often flicking their tongue real hard and fast, and it's very intense. Okay, so but there's a soft tongue, like ice cream tongue, get every drop. So flatten your tongue and just lick up the back of your hand. You can do it right now.
You do it.
Not doing it.
I actually was just
or your arm
scooping poop earlier.
I love how I did it right away, and Kristen just I'm not fucking doing this. There's not a chance.
I'm too uncomfortable.
I do it every day. I put my vitamin D on my hands and I lick my.
No, I'm super awkward. I can't experience things. I can't be in the moment.
Okay.
Slow down.
I don't want to. I don't want to.
Mindfulness meditation does a lot for that. But anyway, back to the genitals. Okay, so we did a fast lick. You can do it again if you forgot. Okay. Now, do the exact same thing, except slow it down and feel it every moment. Just
feels nice.
I'm not. You're
missing out, Kristen.
I was only a centimeter in, and you finished it. No,
I'm a very speedy person, so that was slowing down for me. It's only an hour show.
I mean, I just took a good 5 seconds to go a centimeter.
Oh wow! See, you're good. You would be a good lover.
And if you just even flatten your tongue, if you're still having a hard time, flatten your tongue and just rest it on your hand.
Well, it's like the same thing. If you listen to a song, all of a sudden you stop and you focus to listen just to the violin in that song or just to the saxophone in that song. You hear it in a different way than you ever did before. So it's kind of a similar thing. Sometimes when I listen to music, I'll be just focus on the violin.
It's like paying attention to the bass line of a song. It's a very different experience. Yeah.
Yes.
I love the bass line.
But that's a really good tip for the guys that are listening. And it's been said several times before on here. We've had sex with Emily. It's an amazing tip every single time that we hear it, because slowing down not only gets you to be in the moment and enjoy yourself more, but it also provides a more pleasurable experience for the woman.
Well, you don't come across like you're in 8th grade, and I think that,
exactly. And the thing is that when you slow down and you do take in everything around you, you get out of your head, which is exactly what you were saying at the top of the segment, is that when you get lost in your thoughts and put somebody on a pedestal, it totally disconnects you from the job at hand, from the experience that you're having, and that's really sad. For
I'm fine being put on a pedestal.
You're I like it. I'll stay up here.
Keep doing it. Makes me feel great.
I will stay up here. Okay, before we get to our next segment that's called Analyze This, where we answer questions from our listeners, I wanted to ask you, as a woman, what is your favorite thing that men do in the bedroom?
Okay. favorite thing. I love how personal your questions are. Like
you,
not as a sex educator, just you. Like,
well, you're a woman. This is our show is for men to hear from women. So you're a woman and a sex educator. So I think that's a great
combo.
duo.
That's my favorite things. I don't know. I tend to date really sweet, I hate to say beta males, but just very thoughtful, gentle people. I don't go. I don't know why I never really went for the bad boy. So the thing about like what do I enjoy in the bedroom from men is, but this is awful because a lot of women don't even know how to express what they want. So the act of learning how to express that, I mean, you'd have to do that for the guys to be able to understand. And so expecting anyone to be psychic is like impossible. Well,
because Kristen's favorite thing is when her boyfriend like just rolls over and goes to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
That's her favorite thing in the bedroom. So
honestly,
why?
I'm just kidding.
Okay,
I'm like asexual.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. So you just like low sex drive, or
it's just like my thing. It's like how I define myself. I'm just kidding.
See, my thing that I like when we're having sex or my husband is playing with me. I'm going to get really sexual here right now. I like when he puts his hand on my pelvic bone or when he plays with my breast. I think that feels absolutely amazing. But even more so, I love when he's really present and I'm really present. And it doesn't happen all the time. Sometimes you have sex where you're really present and the other person is, or vice versa, or nobody's present but you're just having sex. But when both of us are really into it and you feel that deeper connection, you're going the same rhythm. It feels amazing. You're not concentrating on like a noise that you hear in the other room or your breath. That's like the biggest turn on for me ever.
Okay, well, it's sharing time. Okay, if we're going to talk like that, one thing that I love, because I really kind of come into like just enjoying my booty being played with, so my butt cheeks.
Awesome.
Because when I say ass, one time I was like, touch my ass, and the person tried to immediately penetrate my ass. And I was like, butt cheeks, buddy, butt cheeks, and he was like, oh, okay, how cute. But I love like big, strong hands, like grabbing my ass cheeks. But I mean like a full, like on the roundest part, like palm it like a basketball and really squeeze, and not like in a pinching kind of way.
That too.
Right, more in a large cupping way.
Almost like slight bra action where you're lifting a little bit.
There's support.
And this is the essential part about you two, is then you separate slightly.
Look at this. Okay.
Because then there's a slight exposure of untouched area, and there's
airing out. No, whatever that is.
No, it's interesting. I actually do that to men too, and they there's something, because I'm not trying to access anything. I'm just slightly spreading and lifting, and there's just this wonderful sense of it's very sensual.
I'm sure it is. That sounds awesome.
Facelift.
I like that too.
Yeah,
I like that too. All right, so let's get to our question. So we have this segment that's called Overanalyze This. I called it Analyze This before, but now it's called Overanalyze This. And people write us in questions, and we answer them.
Let's do it.
Ready to go?
Oh, yeah.
All right. I had a really good one here. Okay. Do you think it is good to date yourself to learn more about yourself, or date people and find out more about yourself? So he's asked, this is from L, do you think it's good to date a lot of people and also by dating yourself, meaning explore who you are as a human being?
It's an either or question?
No, it's not either or. It's both. Do you think it's good to do both of those things?
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
See? Why?
If you're just dating other people and you never have time for yourself, you start to run into issues, a lot of people do, including myself, around boundaries and codependence and not knowing where you end and other people begin. And
or what you want.
Also, what you want.
Also, I think a huge part about dating is being able to give someone else something that you can show them or share with them. And when you don't know yourself, you can't share anything new for them to learn or grow from.
Right. Good answer. So this is now called Analyze This again.
This, just this one specific question.
Oh, that was perfect. No, I think that's a really good answer.
It's a obvious.
It is. And the thing is that like you have to know who you are, because you're dating to. Sorry, I wasn't talking to in the microphone. But you have to know who you are. The more that you know who you are, the more you know what you actually want, and you can express it. Because you were talking before about like how can people mind read, or how are people going to know what they want? Most women don't express themselves. But I'm guessing that you took a long time, especially through your podcast, through your website, to explore yourself. That's what you're doing. You're doing research. You're getting more information, and you're exploring what it is you like, and then putting it out there for other people, which is kind of what this guy is asking. Like, getting to know yourself, is that important? Absolutely, because it helps you in your confidence levels, in the way that you communicate with other people, and how you can tell people what it is you like, so you can see if you're on the same page. So I think it's extremely essential. And then on the flip side, to date more people, again, you can find out what you like and what you don't like.
Clearly, you've thought about this.
I've thought about this a lot. That's what I do full time, giving the same advice. All right. Here is a good question.
You do ever have psychologists or therapists on?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I love the knowledge they throw down about all that feelingsy stuff.
Yeah. No, it's fantastic. I like when they can explain like the science behind everything and why we do things. Okay, so dear Marni, Kristen, and guest, I am in a relationship with a girl who can't move on from the buddy stage, as she describes it. It feels like we are friends and or buddies. There is a lack of passion and chemistry that I
think this is for my boyfriend.
Yeah, I have felt in prior relationships. When discussing our thoughts on how the relationship was going, she brought to light the fact that throughout her past relationships, there is a pattern of where she can't move beyond this buddy friend stage. I think this may have something to do with her father. I feel like shaking. Did you feel that? Earthquake. I think this may have been something to do with her father abandoning her when she was 5 and then coming back into her life when she was 25. As a result, she mentioned that she harbors resentment against him and is unwilling to get too close with him now. I have suggested to her that working with a support group and or a counselor could be very helpful. She has no desire to do so, and thus I feel she has a fear of emotional intimacy and in turn moving toward the higher level of connection in a relationship due to her abandonment. I have told her that my desire is for the relationship to move into emotional, intimate stage. Unfortunately, it is not, and we continue to stay at the buddy stage. I feel as though I have brought the relationship to the highest level I can. I have introduced her to my parents and friends, told her about my life and my struggles, shared what I am passionate about in my dreams. She has not introduced me to her friends, and since we've started dating, since 2013, her parents have visited 3 times and still no introduction. Most recently, for her birthday, she continues to keep the relationship at a very superficial level, often being very childlike, goofy, and silly, while at the same time guarded with her behavior, almost as if she can't be vulnerable. I don't want to break her heart, but I need to think I do what is best for me. What do you think I should do? Ryan, it's very clear on what you should do. You should end this relationship because you're not in a relationship. You're in a one-sided relationship with somebody who's not in a relationship with you, which is why the answer to the last question is very important, because you know clearly what you want in a partner, and this person isn't giving it to you.
Yeah, go for it. I mean, my answer would be I'm not as extreme as her.
No,
luckily,
this is not who.
Luckily, I want to stand up for myself there. I'm not that extreme.
First of all, you are open to receiving help. You are open to introducing to your family and friends. You're completely different from this girl.
Yeah. Anyway.
Sorry, I get very passionate about it.
Anytime somebody tries to analyze anyone else, we fill in a lot of gaps with what we think we know is true about the world. And what we end up with is a whole lot of people who think they have the answers who don't. And it can be damaging. So when I hear him writing that letter, I hear a very intelligent guy who has a lot of knowledge, has probably studied psychology, and I appreciate that. However, if he's not getting what he wants, sure, he can totally leave. But to be like, oh, it's because her dad left her when she was 5, like, people are much more complex than that. And the way he's communicating to her about what he needs is probably not that effective, because it sounds like he's really sure of himself, and so he's leaving a lot unsaid and unexplored. I'm curious. All of that makes me very curious. I'm curious about this woman. I'm curious about what she wants. Does she actually want to be with him? Is she gay? Is she...
Right. I'm wondering how intimate they actually are, because it actually, if they're in the buddy zone, it means that they're not doing anything.
I've never heard of the buddy zone. That seems like a fake thing. Like, are they friends with benefits and he's imagining they're in a relationship when they actually are just...
Well, I always thought the relationship started out more in the less buddy zone, more in the romantic zone, and then you kind of get to a buddy zone where like people kind of close off and then just become a little bit like, this is the side of me you get, eventually down the road. So
yeah, stagnant relationships are a huge problem in modern day society.
Yes.
Well, there's nothing wrong with understanding that you've gotten what you can out of this experience.
Yeah.
And for what Ryan is looking for, and it looks like he's looking for a real partnership where somebody shares their life with him as well.
He's creating growth. It sounds like he's really creating someone to explore.
Yeah. And he said, I don't want to break her heart, but it doesn't sound like her heart's really in it. So I don't think that's a huge... I'm sure she has a lot of feelings and emotions, but I don't think that should be a huge factor for him.
Yeah, I don't think so either. So I think all of us are saying you have to get out of this relationship because it's not what you want.
Yeah, and newsflash, guys... Anytime you try and protect someone's feelings over your own and like, oh, I don't want to break their heart, like you just end up hurting everybody. Like it's not, like it's so cliche to do that. Like it's not even worth doing. Like, take care of yourself.
It almost seems like you give yourself too much credit. Like I don't want to break her heart. Like who's saying you?
Right, exactly. She's the one who's not opening up to you. Right. So I think she's slowly breaking your heart.
Right, exactly.
Over and over and over again.
One of the bravest things you can do is just go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off and break your own heart.
Yeah. You know? And I think that's what he's most afraid of is actually like letting it go. But I feel like he's done everything that he can. And she's communicating with you. She's saying, I don't want to seek help. I don't want to introduce you to my family. I don't want to introduce you to my friends.
When people don't
this is a
want
pattern
change.
for me. And this is who she is. So, Ryan... We think you should end this relationship.
Especially if it's Ryan Gosling.
Right, exactly.
And then just come.
But he's having a baby.
I know.
So he's like in that relationship.
Just a quick, do a little sidebar here. Please watch the video on YouTube of the girl after her dental surgery for her wisdom teeth saying, I want to have sex with Ryan Gosling. Just Google that. It's really funny if you guys haven't seen it. It's amazing.
I haven't seen it. I want to see it. It's so funny.
Yeah.
Well, actually, that's all the time that we have for Overanalyze This.
Perfect.
Because, we just talk a lot. All right. So, for anybody who wants to write us in questions, write into ask@askwomenpodcast.com. We want to thank Jordan Harbinger for being on our show in the first half. And if you want to get a copy of his Tinder guide, the really cool and sexy Tinder guide, go to aocpodcast.com/askwomen. And then you can check out Sandra's podcast. Actually, why don't you give your own introduction?
Yeah, sure. SexNerdSandra.com. I teach workshops. I travel around, talk at colleges, have live shows. And my podcast is weekly on Hump Day, and it's a topic a week on Nerdist.com and iTunes.
It's awesome.
Awesome.
It's awesome. We are awesome.
Cool.
We are very awesome in here.
Yeah. Thanks for
being on the show.
Thank you.
And check out new episodes of the Ask Women podcast every week on podcast.1. What the hell am I saying? Podcast.1. Podcast1.com. Or you can get it on iTunes, wherever you want. But it's better if you actually subscribe, so you don't have to go and actively download. It is there waiting for you every single Thursday.
In your funnel.
Yes, in your funnel. In your funnel, exactly. And thank you for supporting us and supporting our sponsors so that we can stay on the air. And remember, if you want to buy shit from Amazon using our link, winggirlmethod.com/Amazon. Why do I not know what the words are today? What's going on with me? It feels very weird in here. There's an earthquake. It all feels strange today. I'm sort of thrown off. But thanks for listening, and we will see you guys next week.
Thanks for listening to the Ask Women podcast. Go to podcast1.com next week for a brand new show.